the federal government spent over $66 billion on illegal immigrants in 2023, according to the Federation for American Immigration. Does anyone here want to guess how much we've spent on homeless veterans in 23? Guess? High? Well, let's just start. Higher, lower, the same? Anybody want to guess?
Fractional.
Fractional. Thank you. 3 billion. 66 on illegals, 3 billion on people who have laid down their lives for this country. Can anyone explain up there why that makes sense?
Well, one is including all sorts of benefits, and one is just looking at a very, very narrow slice.
No, I'm using the same
So if you
numbers.
look
I'm,
at-
sir,
if
you are.
did a
I am
correct
using
comparison,
apples
it would
to
be a very
apples.
different
I'm using apples to
calculation.
apples. So since you know, why don't you share with me?
We don't
Oh,
track
you
U.S.
don't know.
We don't track
You don't know.
U.S.
Okay.
veterans in the census, so that would be very helpful if we did. Then I would be
Yeah,
able to
we
give
did.
you a
But
very
do you know
good-
the answer? Because
good-
I do. I do. So I appreciate your opinion of which you have no facts on. But let me continue and let me educate you some more. The federal government, breaking that $66 billion down, let's look at what we fund. So you might want to get a pencil and paper and take some notes because I'll help you do your job. $5.8 billion in SNAP, $10 billion in Medicare, $8.2 billion in uncompensated hospital expenditures, $3 billion for primary and secondary education for illegal immigrants, And how many illegal immigrants are given taxpayer-funded housing compared to the number of homeless veterans that are sleeping on the street? You don't know because you don't want to know. You don't want to see the numbers. Well, different. I do, and I can share with you the American people do. Because I'll share with you, the people in my district in Michigan of the 9th District, we care about our homeless veterans. We care about our veterans. And yes, we care about them a little bit more than we care about people who have broken the law to get here illegally. So I actually have some suggestions and maybe some answers on how to fix it. Instead of $66 billion, here are a couple things we could spend. The White House has requested $13 million for the National Call Center for homeless veterans. I'm gonna say it again, $13 million with an M, right? Maybe we could find that out of that $66 billion, right, different between million and billion, big difference, we could funnel some more of that $66 billion to our homeless veterans. Anyone opposed to that? Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we doing it? Anybody got an idea? Anybody got an idea? Why we're not, God bless you, why we're not doing it? I'll tell you why we're not doing it, because the Biden administration does not want to do it. Am I correct? I didn't think so. This year's budget request from the White House asks for $17.2 billion in mental health spending for veterans. That $10 billion we lose to Medicare spending would surely benefit to struggle with the mental health issues. So why don't we do this? America's a very charitable country. Why don't we take care of our own first? Anyone see a problem with that?
I don't. I mean, that's common sense to me. It's all for political gain. It's all a political game. And here's how they distract Americans. Because they make illegal immigration the same as immigration. There are Americans who hear people like me pushing back against illegal immigration. And they're like, so what are you against immigrants? No. I come from a family of immigrants. I don't think most Americans have a problem with immigration. What most Americans have a problem with is illegal immigration. The people that are coming through the border without being vetted, without going through a process. And that's actually unfair to the people who have come here and gone through a process. So when you have an unmanaged border, when you have a border that's just anything goes, you don't have a country. And so there is a difference between immigration and illegal immigration. And the issue here is illegal immigration, spending billions of dollars when we have people here who literally need the money, who literally should be served first. You see, when you don't go through a process, when you don't come here through a process, you don't appreciate the country. You don't appreciate what you have access to. You actually feel entitled to it. Let's continue.
Why don't we? I'll tell you why we don't. Because the Biden administration doesn't want to do that. It's maddening to me. The White House budget requested for caregiver support programs not $2.9 billion. Maybe instead of $3 billion for educating illegal immigrants, we can give more funding to caregiver support programs, right? We're all talking about both sides of the aisle, which ironically doesn't even want to participate in this hearing, sadly, but not unexpected.
You know why Democrats who know better won't say anything? You see, because that party has an agenda that their politicians have to fall in line with if they want to be reelected, if they want to keep their office. And a great example of that is Eric Adams. They threw him under the bus. Why? Because him being mayor of New York City, where I live, okay, him being mayor of New York City and having to manage a sanctuary city and being in the throes of that, and realizing how ridiculous the whole system is, he spoke out against it. And he said the truth. He said, this issue is going to destroy New York City. So what did the Democrat Party do to Mr. Adams? Launch an investigation and accuse him of the same thing that plenty of them do. I wasn't a fan of Adams, but Adams is less like, Adams just seemed to be like, he just seems to be on some like, all right, y'all want to get rid of me? I'm just going to say and do what I wanted to say and do anyway. So I think he cut the puppet strings and I'm glad about it, okay?
Sides of the aisle. What would happen if we took that $3 billion and gave it to caregivers that live in the United States? Anyone have a problem with that? Why don't we do it? Anybody? The Biden administration doesn't want to do it. And you play games with your facts. And you play this shell game. Well, I'm going to share with you, the American people are not fooled, and they are frustrated and fed up with it. Let's just be honest about where this money is going so we possibly can redirect it to the correct place.
So basically what we have happening here is the Biden administration. And you know, I hate to just say the Biden administration because honestly, this using American taxpayer dollars to do all types of things for political gain, for political purposes, and for purposes that have nothing to do with the American people, it's been going on for a long time. What's different now, besides obviously the internet, is that more people are invested in politics and wanting to know what's happening with our government ever since Trump got elected. Ever since that man got elected and decided, I'm not playing these politically correct games with y'all. I'm going to call a spade, and I'm going to drain the swamp. And the swamp is being exposed. The issues that a lot of people complain about, well, you know, why do we have homeless on the street and why aren't the veterans being taken care of and you know, why do people have this needs? The government can do something about it. The government can do something about it. The government is taking our money and doing other things. And now listen, I have a different opinion about what the government should be spending on and should not be spending on, but I know it should not be spending $66 billion on illegal immigration. That is crazy. So my encouragement to you is, listen, when it comes to voting for your local politicians, not just the president, know what is happening. Know what these people believe, not just about their social stances and all of the identity stuff that they like to play. All of that stuff is a distraction. It's a distraction. What's the skin color of the politician? What's their sexual orientation? All of that stuff is to distract you from what actually matters. This is the stuff that affects your day to day. And what the government is doing with our money. It affects our cost of living. And so again, drop the identity politics stuff, which is on its deathbed anyway. Praise the Lord. And to my Black brothers and sisters, we have to stop looking at the world, especially politics, through the lens of race. It's not helping us. It's not helping to advance us. And the reality of it is, if you look at the Black politicians that they prop up, the ones that especially the Democratic Party celebrates, they're often exposed eventually for corruption. They often stand for not our interests. They make you think that, oh, because they share our skin color, that they're there for our interests. They're usually not there for our interests. The skin color is just to blind you and get you to support them while they serve liberal interests. And again, all of that is to distract you from what the government is doing with your money, what the government is doing with the country that you live in. So I pray that gives you some insight, y'all. Be blessed. And if you'd like to support this channel, see the link in the description. Make a donation so that I can continue to make more content like this. God bless you. See you next time. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, and share. You know the things.